Hi guys, Alex here, BlueMoonRisingTV, outside the ETIHAD. I've just watched Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 1. It's 2 points drops, no real way of looking at it other than that. I think 11 players on the pitch, all up for it on the first whistle, but didn't seem ready for 90 minutes. So far so good, but let's get into it. I'm going to go through the game, go through the analysis, get my first reaction. I've got a phone here, I'm going to run through your comments live on the video, so get involved in the comments, get your questions in, let me know how you want this video to go, and we'll get in there as well. Loads of negative thoughts coming out the ground. I actually thought we played quite well, but it is this same old story. 80, 90 minutes of us playing really, really well, one chance up the other end, and teams come and maximise it. And you know what we're seeing here, Middlesbrough, Everton, Southampton, that growing list of clubs that are getting a result at the ETIHAD, they're doing the one thing that we just can't seem to do. They're finishing their chances. Aguero had several chances, Silva had one, De Bruyne had one, and you're thinking, world-class players, we've got to be more clinical. We can't let that complacency set in. All right, for the first 40 minutes, we played well, created chance after chance. It was only a matter of time. Aguero, nice tidy finish, good ball in, jobs are good and going at half-time. You're expecting the boys to come out second half looking for the second goal, looking for the third goal, looking for the fourth goal, looking hungry, and we just didn't have that. One or two individuals looked really strong. I thought Jesus Navas, for all the criticism he gets from City fans, actually looked quite hungry, putting the work ethic in, even if he didn't get the result that we were looking for. But maybe it's because of Wednesday night, maybe the motivation just wasn't there, maybe a few tired legs, a few exhausted players who both physically and mentally have had a massive week, maybe just weren't up to push it over the line. But Middlesbrough, for the last half an hour, looked more up for it. Right, I'm going to throw to your comments now. Loads of talking about disappointment, a lot of people not happy. Talk about Gael Clichy from Bosnia DA. I thought Gael Clichy was great. I think there's a lot of saying about the rotation, but the players who came in, for me, Navas and Clichy, both looked fairly strong. I don't think it was a selection issue. I don't think Guardiola is to blame, although you would have liked to have seen Sterling on the bench, someone that maybe could have brought on who maybe would have made a difference. Although that said, Leroy Sané was there and he wasn't introduced, certainly not when we needed him. Let's go through more questions. Lots of people asking just sheer disbelief about how we lost. El Mexicano, so how we lost those 2 points, how we drew, I should say. El Mexicano, we can't seem to get the upper hand, lads. I think that's the thing, is we get the upper hand, but there's this sort of nervousness about us that we just can't seem to get rid of, that once we get that upper hand, it was almost predictable, and maybe it comes from the stands. I think a lot of us aren't used to being in the leads and being the better side and dominating, even though we've been that way for a few years. There's still that atmosphere of this won't last for long when City go into the lead, and maybe that's getting into the players, it's getting into the dressing room, but the longer it goes on for, the more times we give leads away, the more times it's going to happen again, because that mentality sets in. You don't want to go down that road. It is a slippery slope and we need to get an end to it. We thought when we cleaned West Brom up, we thought after Barcelona maybe we'd put an end to that, but the clock's ticking. Chelsea play later, Liverpool play tomorrow, Arsenal play tomorrow. We could be fourth by Monday if results go against us, so too much time for it. Let's get involved in the comments again. Who is to blame for El Mexicano again? I don't think it's Guardiola, I think it's maybe the players, and I think it's a collective one. I don't think there's one name you can say. John Stones had a couple of mistakes, but I don't think there's any player out there that you could say he's responsible for the defeat today. I think it's a team thing, and it's an attitude problem in the dressing room, maybe. Let's talk about Hamza Gilani wants to know about Sané, even saying Leroy Sané not getting on the pitch. I think a lot of people wanted to see him as soon as he got onto the team sheet, into the squad. People wanted to see him getting off the game. I think people want to see Kelechi, certainly where I was, we'll call him Kelechi, to get involved in the game. You're looking for several players that you want to see get involved. Guardiola talked a lot about rotation in his press conference and has done throughout the season, and we're seeing it, but maybe not in the areas that we as fans want to see. But I think you could probably expect Sané to repeat a fear in a few games. If Arsenal's draw with Spurs, God has answered our players from GTFO, man. I think that's what we're banking on now, because we're getting to a point where we are sliding down the table and we are starting to see a little bit of comeuppance for the lack of results on the pitch. If Arsenal beat Spurs, they could go a couple of points ahead of us. Liverpool have a home game with Watford, which is very, very similar to the fixture that we've had today. Watford are a good team, they travel well, they've already upset United this season. They will go to Liverpool and play for a result, but you've got to fancy Liverpool there, and maybe Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp showed a little bit more mettle than Guardiola's City. A lot of people talk about the bad news. A lot of people still devastated. A lot about finishing needs to improve. Josimar Fuentes got to finish in the box. Hamza Gilani, finishing needs to improve. Bosnia DA, we should score on our chance. MCFC 12-16, well, at least we're ahead of United. And yet there is some crumb of comfort in the fact that we're ahead of United, but that isn't what we have to live for. That's not what Manchester City exists for as a club, is to just be better than Manchester United. And whilst it's a fact, and whilst we can enjoy that, our job is to win titles now, it's to win trophies. is, and it's not to be better than United, but to be better than Arsenal, to be better than Chelsea, to be better than Liverpool and Spurs and the other 15, 20 clubs in the league. We've got to be better than everyone else. And let's not just rate ourselves on United, because that, frankly, for me, isn't good enough. A lot of people talk about Garcia should have come on earlier. I would have liked to have seen him involved earlier, but who do you take off? I don't think Fernandinho had a particularly bad game. I don't think Gundogan had a bad game either. I thought they were probably two of the best players on the pitch. And whilst I would like to see Garcia get some football, I don't think he was a player who's going to come off the pitch and turn a 1-0 into a 2-0. Loads to talk about poor finishing. Josimar Fuentes, is Clichy a liability now? No, he isn't. I thought he had a good game. I don't know where you got that from, but am I the only one? Get involved in the comments if you think Clichy had a bad game. I thought he was fine. Let's talk a little bit more. Hangover from Barcelona, says Gareth Evans. Yep, I can agree with that. I think that definitely has an impact. We played the best team in the world on Tuesday night. Middlesbrough had the night off, and I think that is a factor. But when you play at the level we want to, you've got to be able to do it. And the other big clubs in Europe, the PSGs, the Barcelonas, the Bayern Munichs, the Real Madrids, all play the big midweek games and still get the results on the weekends. Messi destroyed you, says we're losers. Well, we actually drew, and if your entire account is to another team's shortcomings, mate, you're in the wrong way. Not happy with the result. Yeah, I think generally I'm going to leave it there. A lot of the questions have been answered, a lot of feedback. Generally, disappointment, that's what we've got to come with, and we've got to find we've got to find something soon. Something's got to improve. The atmosphere's got to change. The attitude when we go 1-0 up has to change. You heard it here on Blooming Rising. Keep getting involved in the comments. Give the video a like if you can. I am freezing my knackers off here in the cold, and I can't wait to get in. But do it all for you guys. This is Blooming Rising TV. See you next time.